מבחינת חשיכה כאורה בחינת גאורה. From the concept of like darkness is like light, the concept of the goral, that's where the evil wants to get nurturance from. But from there I will bring you down, says Hashem. Ki goral ha'elyon, because the supernal lottery ein perish below tam klal. It does not mean it does not have any explanation or reasoning at all. Rak inyan tam hakamus the machshavas timachulu. Only the hidden reason of the hidden mind, like we said, by that he chose Yaakov and so forth. Hagam Sham Razal, even though our sages said Al Pasuk Lechin Emor Livnei Israel Chulu, that therefore you should say to the sons of Israel Vein Lechein El Ashvur Chulu, that the word lechein only implies an oath of Ishalalu Arelim Halalu Arelim, that both these are not circumcised and these are not circumcised. Halalu of the Avodah, and these are worshipping idols and these and so forth. Lo hayab midasadin nosin chulu. So the attribute of judgment on its own would not have given to choose Israel. But the concept of the oath is that you swore to our fathers from the days of old. From the days of Kedem. Gamkin, so what does it mean from the days of Kedem, from the early days of Muchuvan, that is, that this is from beyond intellect that's understood. From Atik, look what it says in the verse, I will call out to the supernal God, to the God who concludes upon me, yutal hagoral, that in the chest, upon the chest is thrown the lottery, and from Hashem is all of its judgment. That meaning to say that Hashem is giving a judgment even though it seems as a lottery. That this is the concept of Purim, that through the revelation of wisdom, the supernal wisdom and the hidden mind, nispatel hagorel de Haman, the lottery of Haman is nullified, and it's flipped, lios havayat tomich goralichulu, that it should be that Hashem supports my lottery. V'zeu sham rozal perek beis de brachos dafte zayin beis. And this is what I say just said in Gemara Brachos. Rabbi Elazar, Rabbi Abba, Reish Aleph Basar de Matli Omer, that after he davens he says, Yiratzon shetishkon avav afa b'pureinu, that may be your will that should rest love and brotherliness in our pureinu, in our inheritance. Pirush Rashi Goralenu Chul, and Rashi says that this refers to the lottery, that's where it should rest. Ainu al derech begoral Yom Kippurim, and that is like the lottery of Yom Kippur. Im shel sheim ola biyamino chulu. If the lottery to Hashem comes up in his right hand, v'rav chesed chulu, in the great kindness. So it's a good sign. Mash'ein kin kishu alu b'smolu chulu, which is not the case if it comes up in his left hand. V'zeu inyan hafresh bin Shabbos Shabboson, and this is the difference between the Shabbos of Shabbos, who Shabbos Shabboson, who bein Shabbos Shabboson he, whether it is a Shabbos of Shabbos is in the masculine, or whether it is a Shabbos of Shabbos is in the feminine. Isha mazras tchila yulad zachar, because the feminine is aroused first, it gives birth to a male. Ami Shlomar Pur Milashon Puria. We can also say that Pur is from the language of Puria, which in Aramaic, Hainu Mita, it means a bed. Because of Tosfos, Virashi, Perak Bez, the Baba, Mesia, Daf, Chaf, Gimel, Bez, Kabe, Masechet, Ubepuria Chulu. There it explains the language of the Gemara with a Masechet and a Puria, or a curtain or whatever, and the bed. Vehechel, Kochikadashim, Nekra Cheder, Hamitos, and the chamber of the Holy of Holies is called the room of the beds. Just like the bed is made in order to be fruitful and multiply and so forth. So too you're going to have in this, from this level, from this place, from this concept, a greatening of the light and revelation of elokus, viskalus elokus, revelation of godliness, neshamos chodashos elyonim chulu, of high new souls. That's the concept of the Pur as well. That Purim is a concept of the revelation of the Holy of Holies, of new souls. Just like it says that this is the difference between Shabbos Shabbos on he and Shabbos Shabbos on who, that it's the woman who's aroused first and gives birth to a male. So Yom Kippur is similar in this way. Like it's explained according to the Arizal that Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and all of Sukkot are preparations for Shmini Atzeres, which is the klita, the union, which results in the pregnancy of new souls for revelation to this world, which are revealed in Shvi Shel Pesach and so forth. So perhaps that's the concept of Yom Kippur as well, that he's hinting to here. Or okay, sof os pei purim. Look at me or it says about Purim gematria shelo yidua inyan haslav. It brings the concept of the Slav, shosho memochas limoah, that its root is in the hidden mind, and the shalva v'hashket, that's called peace and restfulness. Mocha de shakit v'shachich, which is just like the mind that's calm and quiet. Because the portion of the wicked will not fall upon the righteous. I guess the language of yanuach, that the resting is also a language that's used by the lottery. That the restfulness will not rest upon the wicked, only upon the righteous. Ein Rabbos Pasha Miketz Rish Pasha Pezayin the Kayal Ishto Shel Potifar Legabe Yosef. That this verse, that the portion of the righteous will not go to the wicked, the staff of the wicked will not go upon the righteous. Is that who's that staff of the wicked? That's the Potiphar's wife. That's the feminine of the klippa, that we said that refers to the lottery. Vikashim Esther, but we can ask a question for this by Esther. How could she fall to the portion of that wicked person of Achashverosh? Look what it says about Bathsheba. She was first the wife of Uriah Hachiti. I'm not sure if it's implying that he was wicked in some way, other than we know that he rebelled against the king of David. And like the concept that the Kanani was in the land, that the wicked people were in the land instead of the righteous. Esther, Karka, Olam Haisa. So these are all similar concepts of the bad having control, being, so to speak, married to the righteous. And it says that the Gemara in Sanhedrin answers that Esther was, so to speak, called Karka Olam, the earth of the world. That's how it answers it. Simin Kavches, Berai Mehem Reish Pashas Tetze Darfresh Ein Hey from an Bez Barhamaz Sham Bez Kibul Bechinas Eretz, that the receptacle is the concept of the land, Bidi Barhamaz Kavai Misbar Bnei Israel. So he hasn't been giving a clear answer to us here yet, just bringing the sources. Beis Chaim Shar Kuf Nun Pevav Perish Klippus Noga. So in Yitzchayim it says, Shekneged Esther Haisem is the Vegas in Achashverosh. You had this Klippus Noga that corresponded with Esther, that united with Achashverosh. That it wasn't actually her. This is a whole Maisa over there in the Rai Mehemna and the Ramaz, explaining probably the Shida or whatever that was with Achashverosh instead of Esther. But now the source of this concept, this halacha of the earth of the world, is not obligated to give up its life for this. The source of this concept spiritually is Malchus of Asiyah Yored has been a Klippos that descends to the Klippos. So we have a concept in holiness of the feminine concept that goes down into the Klippos, and that's its purpose. That's what it's supposed to do. So to Esther marrying Achashverosh, and this concept cannot get out of the Klippos until the time that's written that the death will be swallowed forever. But now it's that's where it's supposed to be. Only it comes out of there, the time of prayer. I guess similar to how she was with Achashverosh, or Shida was with Achashverosh, but she was in the arms of Mordechai. But this is all the concept of the Galus Hashchina, Malchus the Asiyah Olam Klippos, which is the descent of Malchus of Asiyah into the world of Klippos. Now this concept of exile is the concept of Shalat Ha'adam Ba'adam L'Ralo, is the concept of the good, of the bad, so to speak, ruling over the good for its downfall. And this is the concept of Esther that fell into the lottery of Achashverosh. Which is the concept of Malchus of Asiyah, of the lowest world, the kingship of Hashem, in the lowest world, Shulavush Esther, which is the garment of Esther, the Atzilus. And through this whole process, I have given the house of Haman, which is Zir Anpin of Klippa, the masculine of Klippa, I've given to Esther. That because she's the feminine of Kedusha and has gone down into the Klippos, she has inherited not only, I guess, Vashti's place, not only the feminine of Klippa, but also the masculine. And this concept of her going out of the exile for short times, is explained in Tanya, how Yisrael are redeemed only with charity. We can say, that that's the concept of Purim, that that's what happens in Purim. That Malchus comes out of the Klippos. That you change from the lottery of Esther to Purim. That the bad flips into good. Because through this elevation of Malchus of Asiyah going down to the Klippos and coming up, you reveal the Malchus of Ein Sof, beyond the creation. Levush Malchus, which is the concept of the garment of kingship, of the Keser Malchus, and the crown of kingship, a Giloi of the highest levels. Look what it says, we can awaken you to the concept of how Yoel should be blessed from women. That she did the same thing. She went and was with Sisera. And that's also like the Galus Hashchina, the feminine concept, being in exile. But because she did that, the elevation that happened afterwards was a mamash redemption for the Jewish people. And she was blessed from women. But that was only for a short time. That's why the Megillah is not a sefer, I guess, but it's called a letter. That a letter is not something that you keep necessarily forever in the way that you keep a book. And therefore, this hints to this concept as well, that until the days of Mashiach, it's only a revelation for a short time.